Okay, let's say categorical. But what's the sequence we started with? I want the sequence. What all major topics, steps,
Steps, stages,
stages of any of analytics.
types of data,
What are the stages?
अरे
Descriptive, predictive, prescriptive. After that,
types of data,
types of data. What are the types of data?
structured, unstructured, semi-structured.
What is an example of semi-structured? CSV file.
CSV,
Okay.
CSV JSON.
Yeah. And then we covered data types. Yeah, text and numeric. After that, we covered categorical versus continuous. Continuous variable.
Formatting.
Then, what is a
Formatting.
categorical variable? What is a categorical variable? Arithmetic calculations, if it is numeric, right? Okay. Then we had formatting. In the formatting, we saw basic formatics in the text and numeric. In the numeric part, we did what? Custom number formatting. Okay. So everyone knows the rules. What are the rules we discussed? Zero displays what? Entire value before the decimal. Okay. What after that? The number of zeros you are having after the decimal, till that decimal places, you will be able to see that value. Okay. What else after? Okay. That's it. We use square brackets to pass the conditions. Semicolon for the else part. Comma is a 1000 separator. Divided by 1000, right? Okay. Okay, these were the rules. How many max conditions I can pass in custom number formatting? 2. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we discussed till this point. Now let's say I have employee IDs. And the IDs are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I want to do is, I want to display this one as 001, this 2 as 002. That is, I want to have the display the value having till 3 places. Okay. So now how can I do this? Let me just copy this thing over here. Yeah. Now tell me. Control 1 is a shortcut. Then 3 times. So if I just write 0, this means what? Only 1. Now if I say 0 again, that means ki now this 0 represents the entire value before the decimal, and the 0 before it just adds a 0. Right. So if I want this 001, then so has my value changed? No, just the display of the value has changed. Correct? Okay. I gave you homework yesterday. Did you guys try it? Were you able to do it? Yeah. How did you do that? What was the logic? Correct. Did you give the formula in the formula bar of the conditional formatting? Okay. Good. So I won't be discussing that. First, I'll need to cover a few topics, then I'll discuss that question. Okay. So this was custom number formatting. Now, one more thing over here. Let's say there's a column which is profit. Okay, let's say 20,000, 30,000, minus 12,000, minus 30,000. This is my profit column. Now, question is ki I want to display the profits and losses in different colors. Profit slash losses in different colors. Let's copy this. Okay. So, like you used to give conditions in square brackets, you can also pass the colors in square brackets. Okay, let me show you that. Control, okay, display the profit in losses in different colors and display in thousands. Display the value in thousands. Okay. What is the first thing I will do? Conditional formatting. Custom formatting. I need to convert this into 1000. How can I do that? 0, 0 point, let's say 0 till 1 decimal place I'm taking that, comma. So 0 is not needed because I do not have any such values over here. So I'll just say 0 and comma, and I will say what? K. This is doing what? This is just converting into the thousands. What I want to do, I want to show, let's say, profit in blue color and loss in red color. Right? So I'll modify this formula. So what will be the condition over here? Greater than 0 profit, and else part it will automatically will be less than 0. It will be a loss. So let me modify this formula. So I can say in the square bracket if the value is greater than 0. Right? And after square bracket, I can have another square bracket, or before the square bracket, this condition also I can have one square bracket. Right? And I will say blue. Else red. So this will be what? This condition will be what here? Less than 0? Less than equals to 0. Let me take it greater. Yeah. Less than equals to greater than equals to 0. So this will be what? Less than 0. And then which color I want to give? Red. Red. To which value? Less than 0, it is condition. But I need to specify the value. I need to display the value. So it will, what will come over here? यहाँ पे क्या आएगा वैल्यू डिस्प्ले करने के लिए? इनकरेक्ट है ना? यहाँ पे क्या है? आई एम सेइंग ब्लू. ब्लू किस पे अप्लाई करना है? इस वैल्यू पे अप्लाई करना है ना? कंडीशन क्या है? यहाँ पे ये कंडीशन है. तो रेड की कंडीशन ऑटोमेटिकली इज लेस देन 0. Which color? This color. On which values to apply? So I need to give the values 0, comma. I need to also display this in 1000. I need to display the losses also in 1000, comma, and I will say K. Can it use the number format you type? That doesn't matter. एक ही बात है वो. It's in the quotes. Maybe I think this one. Let's see. Yeah, text in double quotes. This creates an issue. 1 second. This is what I have. I want to give what? Greater than equals to 0. I want to give blue color. This one is working fine. If it is not greater than equals to 0, it should be what? Red color. And 0, comma, A. Done. Now what you can notice over here, negative sign is removed because we are just representing the losses in our with a color, with a different color. Clear? Let me paste the formula also over here. Because here the condition was not based on the conversion into thousand or million. It was based on showing the different colors. Any doubt in this part? This is the formula. Online guys, any doubt? That is okay. You can mention before the condition or after the condition. So I mentioned after the condition, but then it automatically took it before the condition. Okay. Clear with this part?
One. We are doing questions which need 1,000 division by 1,000. In case we do something like 100 by 10, is there a possibility in custom for that?
Okay. So something by 100.
1 meter is 100.
There's a possibility, but that option is not recommended. I'll come to that. Okay. Let's say now I was able to show the values with the multiplication of thousands, 1,000 into 1,000, 1 million, into 1,000, 1 billion. Right? Now let's say I have a value which is 1 lakh. 5 zeros. Either I can have 3 zeros, 6 zeros, 9 zeros, or 12. Right? But here I have what? 5 zeros. I want to display this value as 1 lakh. Right? So here we have one thing which is in the rules, we have percent symbol. What percent does is multiplies by 100. When you are saying multiply, that means this thing is in the numerator. When you say divide, comma is in the denominator, right? So this thing multiplies by 100. Okay. I have 1 lakh. So I need to, if I want to display this 1 lakh value is 1L, I need to divide by what? 1 lakh, right? So that means I need to have 5 zeros in the denominator. So what I will use is I will use the combination of percent and comma to get 5 zeros in the denominator. Right? So let's say combo or combination. So this access will be useful in logic building, but we don't generally use it. So my value is what? 1 lakh. Or not 1 lakh. Let's say I want to divide by 5 zeros. That means I will display, if I'm multiplying, I will display that positive. If I'm dividing, I will display that value as negative. So what I will do first is I will divide by comma. Right? So that means I'm dividing, that means -3, counting the zeros. -3. Then what I will do, I have 2 zero less over here in the denominator. I will again say comma, -3. How much is it now? -6. But I don't want to divide by 6 zeros. I want to divide by 5. So I will say percent. Percent means that +2 -6 + 2. minus 4. That means there are 4 zeros in the denominator. But there is 1 zero less because I want to divide by 1 lakh. So again, I will say comma minus 3 minus 4 minus 3 is how much? Minus 7. So that means 2 zeros are more. Again, I will say percent in the numerator. So that means plus 2. And at last, I'm left with how much? Minus 5. So that means ki I will, yes, just to represent. Okay. So that means ki I need 3 commas, combination of 3 commas and 2% to divide by, basically to display the value into 1 lakh. But there's a drawback to this. For example, I have this value 1 lakh. If I write it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now control 1, custom. I want to display as this value as what? Comma, comma. Why is it 0? Why this in the sample you can see it is displaying 0. When I say comma, it is showing me 100. When I say comma again, it is showing me 0.
Divide by 10. 1 by like,
Yeah.
1 value to 1 by
So why is it not showing me that entire value?
0.12.
Correct. Because I am saying ki 0 means what? The entire value before the decimal. If you say 0.00, you will be able to see the entire value. Right? Okay. So I need how many commas? 3 commas and 2%. And I can say L. Done. But the number of times I use percent, it will display the percent symbol that number of times. So that is why it is not recommended to use percent. Like if you want to achieve this combination, what you can do is, let's say you have a value which is 1,20,000. Okay, you have a value 1,20,000. Either you can display this value as what you can say 0.12 m, or you can display this value as 120k. Clear? So you basically, this is what you can do. This is the approach you can follow. Either you can display this value as 1.2 m, 0.12 m, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Either into millions or thousands. If you have any such odd zeros which is not in the combination of comma. Clear with this part? Guys, tell me, clear with this part? Yeah. So this was custom number formatting. Let me see if I'm left with anything over here in the custom number formatting part. Then the next thing we have is date and time formatting. So let's say date formatting we do first. Now just remember that date and time are stored as numbers in the backend. /time. Okay. Date and time are stored as numbers in the backend. Right. So when I say these are stored as numbers in the backend, when I say 1 over here, and if I go to this general tab, number section, and I click on date over here, what you're able to see? That means the starting date in Excel is what? 1st Jan 1900.
Here is
Year is what?
there is some first 5 by 5.
That you can always check.
85.
So if you say, if I write 2, it will give me what? Second day. So you can now show this as date. So day is coming first, then month, then year. The format is what? YMD. YMD. So that is what I mean when I say date and time are stored as what? Numbers in the backend. So what is so if I say today's date, if you want to see ki how many, what is today's date? Let's say it is 5/14/2024. 14th May 2024. If I want to see what is the number of days of this date from the initial date, I can simply just go to date and number. So that means ki from this date, if you want to achieve this today's date, you have to add how many days? 45,426. Okay. So that is clear. The date and time are stored as numbers in the backend. Now, Bhavya, okay. I'm saying ki date is stored as numbers in the backend. When I say 1 over here, and if I apply formatting on it, so I'll just click on this default formats available, short date. So see, this number is converted to date, or you can even convert any number or any date to a number. If I want to convert this date to a number, that can also be done. So this defines ki date and time are stored as numbers in the backend. Bhavya, clear? Okay. Now let me take today's date only. Let's say this one. Just simply, this is the, what is 1? Starting number. So when I say 1 and when I'm telling you date is stored as number in the backend, so that means that that's the starting date in Excel. Okay. Now let's say if I'm taking today's date 5/14/2024. Okay. Control 1. Custom. What is the format over here? am/d/yyyy. Right? So whatever changes you whatever formula or format you will write over here, you will be able to see it in the sample. So when I write D, when I remove this formula, it is showing me what? Total number of days from the starting date or epoch date. So when I write D once, what is happening? Let me not take it 14, let me take it probably 1. And the format is what? MD5. Just a purpose for this. And custom. If I write D once, you are able to see what? Single number of the day. If I day, this is day. If I write D twice, if it would have been 14, then in the single D and the if you're writing D twice, the output will be same. If I write D thrice, you are able to see the abbreviation of the weekday name. If you write D 4 times, you are able to see the full name of the weekday. Clear? Similar in case of month, if you say M, single digit, if it is 10, it will show you 10, 11, 11. If you write M twice, then 05. Thrice, abbreviation of the month name. 4 times, May. So 3 times is this, June, July, and 4 is May. Let me change the month over here, and then I'll show you. Let me make it June 6. Okay, June 1. So if I write over here M, June, and then if you write 4 times, you're able to see what? The full name. Okay. Then in case of year, if you write Y once, you are able to just see the century part. If you write Y twice, then also you're able to see the century part. So if you write Y once or twice, it's the same thing. And similarly, if you write Y thrice and 4 times, it's the same thing. You'll be able to see what? Full year. Clear? Yeah. So now let me take.
Sir,
Yeah.
ये जो 45426 है, आपने फॉर्मेट सेल पे जाके मतलब उसको बस क्या कहते हैं नंबर पे क्लिक किया या क्या किया, वो मेरे को बोलने नहीं पड़ा, एक बार आप दोबारा से बता। ओके।
Now just I'm writing over here, let's say date and year. So let me take another date for this one. It is 5:14. So let me take 5 slash not 5/1. Okay, this date only I'm taking. Chalo. Tell me what will be the output of this date. Guys, tell me the output. 1.
1 0 1.
What? What was the first day? Wednesday.
Yes, it was WED.
It was Wednesday. So
WED.
abbreviation.
Yeah.
Why Monday?
Saturday. This is June 1, 2023.
Yeah. So control 1. Let's check. What is it? What was it? Sorry, not D. It was Saturday. I've changed it. Okay, my bad. So it was what? Saturday? I say it is. Abbreviation here,
Full Saturday.
Saturday. Month
6
6. Here,
06
over here.
JUN abbreviation. Then full June.
Year,
24.
century part.
Yeah, 24.
Now, full year.
Yes. Full
After
year.
that,
Full year.
so clear. Now let's say let me give you a task over here. Key. This is a date, right? I want to display this date as, let's say, you need to display this date similar to this one. Now tell me.
So it will be
Tell me the formula.
4 times D.
4 times D, comma, space D,
Hyphen.
hyphen,
4 times M.
4 times M,
Hyphen.
hyphen,
4 times Y.
3 times Y or 4 times Y doesn't matter, right? So this is how you'll be able to format this thing. It's a long date. Yeah. Clear? Have to do the date formatting. Any doubt in this section? No? Now, even if I click on this, you are able to see what? Date only. This is not just what formatting I have applied. Similarly, I have time formatting. Let's say I am taking a time which is 12. So it is 12 p.m. And if I go to this custom and if I click on the number, what's the number? 0.5. That means time is also stored as number in the backend, right? Okay. So it is 12 and let me go over here. What's okay? It is 12 a.m. Why is it showing me 00?
It's taken AM, so in 24 hours.
24 hour. It is into 24-hour format.
Format, yeah.
Okay. How can I convert this into 12-hour format? Huh? Like you used to have. Okay, let me just take a time first. Let's say, let me take it 11 or 10:28. Let's say. So AM it is, correct? Control 1. Custom. If I write, if it would have been not 10, let's say 9. And if I just write H, what you're able to see? Only the R part. If I write H twice, what you're able to see? Till two places, 09. And if I write M, 28. Right? If it would have been 9 hours, 6 minutes, so it will be 6 only. If I write M twice, it will be what? 06. We don't similarly in case of seconds also. Right? Now currently this is what? 24-hour clock format. Right? If I say AM/PM, it gets converted into 12-hour clock format. If you want to convert 12-hour clock format into 24-hour, what will you do? Just remove AM, PM. It will be 24-hour clock format. So let's say if it is 12:00 AM, and if I want to check the number for this, number is what? 0. Okay, let's say if I try to check the number for the PM, 12 PM, the number is what? 0.5. If I want to check the number for let's say 11:59 or 11:50 PM, the number is what? 0.99. That means ki the range of the numbers for the time is from 0 to 1, right? Okay. So what's the format of this is HH colon MM colon SS. If you just keep this is what? 24-hour. AM/PM. This is 12-hour format. Yeah. Now, what I want you to do is, let's say there's a, let's say I am working 5 days a week or 6 days a week. I'm working 9 hours a day. I want to show the total time I have worked in a week. Because what happens is, let's say if I write 25, 30, 25 hours, 30 minutes. What has happened? It has taken me to the initial date, and then it was what? 25 hours, right? 30 minutes. So that means ki 1 hour 30 minutes. So it will be what? 1:30 a.m. Right? If I say यहाँ पे not 25, let's say if I say 40, let me check it again. So if I say 48 hours or 48, yeah, 48 hours, 30 minutes. So it should give me what? Second, that means 2 days and whatever the time after 12 a.m. is. So it is what? 2 days are completed and half an hour for the third day. Clear? But what I want to do is I don't want to display it like this. I want to display this as, so if I, what I'm saying is, let's say whatever the value is, I want to just display to total time. So more than 24 hour, if I have total hours which are more than 24, I want to display that particular number only. I don't want to get it converted into 24-hour format, right? Yeah, coming to, so let me just write it. Display the time period more than 24 hours which are more than having time which are more than 24 hours. Okay. So let's say this is the time 25 hours, 30 minutes. Let me just paste it over here. So this is the value. Let me just control 1. Let me do control 1. And if I say H, what you're able to see? This one, R part. But I want to see what? I want to see total hours, right? So I will put this square H into the square brackets. This is displaying me what? Total hours, right? And I can say MM. Clear? If you want to display total hours, you have to do what? Put the H part in the square brackets. If you want to display total number of minutes, what you can do? You can put the M part into the square brackets. So it is 1530 minutes. If you want to display the total number of seconds, put S into the, which is 91,800 seconds. Because they have a limit, right? Minutes can be from 0 to 60. Hours can be from 0 to 24. And seconds can be from 0 to 60. If you want to exceed these limits, you have to put what? For the hour, you have to put H into the square bracket. For the minutes, you have to put M into the square brackets. And for the seconds, S into the square brackets. But it will either give you total number of hours or total number of minutes or total number of seconds. Let me just do it. Only you can have slash M and slash, so not slash, square bracket S. Any doubt in this part, time formatting part? So if I say the data type is date time, right? So that means if you want to do the date time formatting, it will be what? HH, not HH, sorry, DD slash MM slash like whatever by. Then you can say HH MM SS and then AM slash PM if you want to display into the 12-hour format. This is the complete format of what? Date time. So for example, if I have something like now function and I am getting what? Current date and time. So I want to format this. Let me paste it. I want to format this control one. This is what, see, M slash T MM. I want to display seconds also. I want to display this into AM slash PM. Done. Clear with the date and time format? So we have done custom number format, date and time format. Let me see what else we have. Okay. So this was what? Custom formatting? Or finance, yeah, custom formatting. Now let's switch to the
Ashish,
yeah,
can you just go back to the last date format you did?
yeah.
And just show me once the format. Um,
Yes.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. So you have done custom formatting. Now, what is conditional formatting, guys? Like what definition you think of conditional formatting?
Whenever a specific condition.
So formatting of cell. So what we were doing in the custom formatting,
So it will be based on the conditions.
conditions. Okay, haven't we given the conditions in custom formatting,
Yeah.
right? We have given the conditions. So what do you think, guys? Like, what's the use case of custom formatting? Why we are doing it?
No, there was a limitation more than 10, but maybe.
No, why we are doing custom formatting? We have completed custom formatting. Why we are doing it?
We saw that there is a limitation.
Limitation, I understand. Values.
Cus- Custom is basically like we're not technically changing the property of the number, or for example the text we have written, but like we are just changing the visibility part of it, like.
Okay, but we are not doing that in conditional formatting. Also, we are not
Hmm.
changing the value.
Okay.
It's
Let's say
just to
this is
sort the data like in for our convenience, like
to
for
sort
the appearance.
that is sorting.
No, sort as in to change the format according to the appearance we
Correct,
want.
correct. For the readability purpose.
Yes.
So let's say if I employee ID and if I take, let's say, some sales of the employees, right? Some number I'm writing. Can you tell me which one is the top? Which one are the like what are the numbers in sales? Can you read me out the numbers for the sales of the employees? Yeah. Tell me the numbers, no, read it out. What's it? 37 lakh, 37,000, 37 crore. For the B part, employee ID B, you're having difficulty, no? That's the point. Right? Now what I will do, I will just paste it over here. I'll apply the formatting. What I will do is let me convert this into thousand, let's say, not thousand, let's say million. So 0.00 and comma, and I can say M. Right? Now read it out. So my readability has increased a lot over here compared to what data I had earlier. And I haven't even changed the values. My values are still the same. But my readability has increased. That's what the use of custom formatting is, date and time formatting is. Clear? Now, it's not that we haven't given condition in custom formatting. We have given condition in custom formatting also. What conditional formatting will do?
It will help us to highlight certain cells for the better readability only.
Correct. Based on conditions, you can highlight the cells.
Cells.
Okay, let's say you are having A, B, C, D, E. That's the main use case. Conditional formatting highlight the cells or the rows, not the values. I mean, it doesn't play with the values, it plays with the colors highlighting the cells. And I'm saying, oh, sorry, I'm saying over here. Now, can you tell me which are the top two employees? It's difficult, right? But what I can simply tell you that, let's say D and what? C. So if I just simply highlight, and I've written here ki whatever the highlighted ones are the top two employees. At a glance, you can simply check. So that's the use case of conditional formatting. Now, if you are finding difficulty with this 5, 6 records, imagine you have millions of records. How difficult it would be, right? Okay. Now let's check the conditional formatting part. Let me get the data. Just 1 second. So I'll just explore the options, whatever options we are having in the conditional formatting. So this is home tab, and corresponding to the custom formatting, we have conditional formatting section. So these are the options that we have over here. So these are the default options which are available for which we do not need to write any formula. Right? Okay. So highlight cell rules. So we have greater than, less than, between. These three options will be used for what? Categorical or continuous? Which one? Continuous. Right? Comparison. Equals to both? Both. If I want a certain category to be highlighted, I can say equals to. If I want a certain value to be highlighted, I can say equals to. Text that contains text column. So it's like pattern mapping, starts with, ends with, or wherever it is. Okay. So let's start with this. So greater than, right? So let's say if I include this, and what is the first thing I will do? I will first select the range. That is the first step I will do. So let me just write it over here. Highlight. Always first do what? select the range. This is my range, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules greater than. So some value over here, I can pass the value, let's say value is whichever greater than 2500. Just highlight those. So only these two customers are having the sales amount greater than 2500. I can reward them, and I'm saying with green. I can change the color from here. Which one are having the lowest profits? Conditional formatting, highlight less than. So I can say less than, let's say 200. These two. Then we have highlight cell rules between. If there are any two values which are between any two particular values, so these are included, that will also be highlighted. Okay. And after that, we have equals to. So if I show you the equals to, let's say over here, equals to, and I'm saying a particular value, let's say 2100. Let me just change the color. If you want to see how many rules you have applied, right? On this range. So go to conditional formatting. Here you have option of what? Manage rules. So these are the rules I have applied. I want to edit this rule. I can click on edit. If I want to add a new rule, I can add a new rule. I can delete this rule. From here, I can delete, add, or edit the rule. So if I say edit rule, I want to change the color of this format. Fill, probably yellow. Apply. Okay. This was for what? Equals to. I can apply this same feature or function or feature on the customer name also, on the text. I can say equals to what? Let's say Alvaro Cruz. See, it's highlighted now. Exactly equals to. So this will be highlighted if the value of the text is exactly equals to. Let me just copy this and paste it over here. Now, one second, there are two things. If I just want the values to be pasted over here and no formatting to be applied, right? And if no formula, no formatting to be pasted. So what I can do is I can simply copy, select, right click, paste special. And in the paste special, it is saying all. All means if the formula is there, value, format, comments, validation, everything will be copied. But I just want to copy what? Values. See, now you can see the formats are not copied, right? This is one way. What is the other thing you can do? Simply copy and paste. And here what you can do is, let's say, I want to clear what? Whatever the formatting I have applied over here. So let me make the selection. This is my selection. Conditional formatting. Here you have an option of clear rules. So here you have two options. Whether you want to clear the rules from the selected range or you want to clear the rules from the entire sheet. Once I choose the second option, this will also be cleared. Whatever formattings you have applied in this particular sheet, all of those formattings will be cleared. Okay. So I want to just clear the formatting from this range. So if you want to check, I've cleared the formatting. Right? If I want to go to manage rules, you cannot see any rules over here. What was the next option we had over here? Text that contains. Okay. So this is like pattern mapping. Wherever that particular pattern will be available, that particular text will be highlighted. So highlight cell rules. When I say text that contains, so I am saying okay, highlight that text wherever there is a over here. So that means that these are the text which contains a somewhere. Then I am saying ki a highlight only that text which has a and l together. Doesn't matter at the beginning and in between, but a and l should be together. So these are only two texts where a and l is what? Together. Right? So that is what text that contains is pattern mapping. I have given a pattern. He highlight that particular text where A and L are together in that particular text. Then we have duplicate values. Okay, let me.
So if I just have a question. So if we want the two alphabets which are not together, like if A and L are not together, so is
Hmm.
there any way we can highlight, put that condition there also?
A and L are not together.
Yeah, probably in the same word, but not together. Like
So you have to what we can do in that case. I have to check with that option 1 second. Mhm. More rules. So not equals to cell value text that contains 1 second. I can say not equals to this pattern AL. Let me format this and check. Right. So what happened? It has highlighted all of it where A and L are not together. So what may happen is over here. 1 second. Manage rules. This one. Let me delete it. When I'm saying AL over here, when I add a new rule, format only cells that contains cell value equals to, not equals to, between, not between, yeah, okay, less than or equals to text that contains. That's
नॉट इक्वल्स टू नहीं ले सकते हम नॉट इक्वल्स टू ए
not
एन
equals
एल
to is basically just that means
वन
ki
नंबर
it should be A and L only.
yeah so not equals to we can
We cannot take that. Here we do not, I think, have that option, but what you can do is you can use a formula for that if you have any specific pattern in mind, or you can use a filtering part. We'll discuss that once we'll come to filtering.
oh,
Or when you're saying ki A and L are not together, I
it's
think
supposedly there are conditions that there's a name which we want which has A and L, but they might not come together, but they're present in that word name.
okay, they have A and L, and
Yeah,
but the condition is कि they should not be together.
हाँ जी, मतलब कि जितने भी नाम है हमें अगर हाइलाइट करने की विद
हम्म
दीज अल्फाबेट्स कि
हम्म
जितने नामों में ए और एल आ रहा है
हम्म
irrespective of they're together or not, they should be highlighted. तो अगर
okay,
ऐसा कुछ
irrespective of they are together or not.
हाँ जी,
So what you can do is then in that case, let me see if we have an option. Wait, delete. That contains, let's say this contains A and right, and I can add another rule that contains L right, with the same color. Now both of all the it was not highlighted earlier, I think, because it does not contain A. So now all the names are highlighted which either contains A or either contains L. So I have applied two rules over here. If you see manage rules, one contains A and either it should contain A or it should contain L.
okay.
Okay. Now let's say if I want to highlight the ones which are having duplicates over here. Let's say duplicate values. I have an option over here of what duplicate values. Probably with green fill. So you have these option of highlighting also, whether you want to give red border or some custom color or red text. Let's say I want to give red text. To the duplicates, here we have an option of unique also. If I say unique, all the uniques will be in red color. If I say duplicate, so duplicate will be in red text. Done. So these are what? Duplicates. Same I can apply over here also for the duplicates. Duplicate values, not red, let's say green. Yeah, done. So that means these two what are duplicate values. Even in case here also you have an option of unique, all the unique names of the duplicate names, which needs to be highlighted. So this was all regarding highlight cell rules. So we have one thing over here, which is date occurring. So let me take a date column. And I have, let's say, date, which is 5/14/ okay, make the selection. What all options you have over here is date occurring yesterday. So yesterday's date was what? 13. It is highlighted. These all options you have. Today's date, tomorrow's date. So this will be dynamic. This option is dynamic because tomorrow's date will be what? 16 or in the last 7 days. These are the dates in the last 7 days. Last week, there's no date. This week. So when I say this week, that means today is what? Tuesday? Tuesday to 14th, right? So Monday, Sunday. That means that by default it is taking Sunday as the first day and Saturday as the 7th, 1 to 7, right? So Saturday as 1, so Sunday as 1 and Saturday as 7. This week, next week, last month, this month, all these options you have over here, which you can explore. Let's say this week. So it tells key Sunday equals to 1 and Saturday equals to 7, 1 to 7. So this was regarding the highlight cell rules. Any doubt over here in the highlight cell rules part? Online guys, clear?
One question. Is there a way to connect two columns? For example, in the live condition of the names, if it contains the corresponding to those names, sales should be highlighted.
Corresponding to those names, sales should be highlighted. Okay. So there is an option of highlighting the entire row. Yeah. For example, based on this column, I want to highlight the entire row. But yeah, everything will be highlighted. But problem is I cannot highlight the entire row using the default options. All these options, by using these default options, I cannot highlight the entire row. I have to use a formula for that. Right? Next we have is top bottom rules. Let me get the data. Let's say that I want to highlight top 5 for top 5 sale customers having their sales amount. So basically go to conditional formatting, top bottom rules, top 10 items. So I can change the color obviously from here, top 10, so let me fill it with green. I can say not top 10, I want to have top 5. So these are the, what happened? Here that this customer is among the top 5, these two, and they're also in the bottom 5. That means that something is fishy over here. They are having high sales number, but lower side on the profit. So again, clear rules from the selected cells. Conditional formatting, top bottom rules. Now here it is in terms of percentage. When I say top 10%, you are able to see it is only highlighting one value which is highest. So how do you think it is calculating that? Ki how many values I need to highlight? Top 12, 13, nothing, 15, nothing, 19, nothing, 20, it is highlighting top two values. So it is highlighting the number of values based on the number of rows. I have how many rows? 10 rows. So that means 10 rows equals to what? 100%. Each value will be what? 10%. So it is top 20%. If I'm saying top 20%, based on that, it is highlighting it. So let's say what it will, if I say 2969, right? If I make it 2931, the value is controls. Now let's check what happens. Clear? Since the values were different, all of the values were different, and they were 10 rows, so the maximum will be what? So based on 10%, what will be the let's clarify this one more time. 2968. Let's check. Clear? So now it is clarified that it is just highlighting like if there are 10 rows, so that means 100%, and among that 10% will be what? Maximum value. 20% second maximum. Clear with this part? So this is top 10. Let's say if I control this conditional formatting, top 10%. Similarly, I can have bottom 10%. Obviously, this is the bottom 10%. If I say bottom 20%, 103. Let me clear the rules. Okay. Then, obviously, first you'll make the selection. If I want to highlight those customers whose sales is above average. So, top bottom rules. I have an option over here above average and below average. Above average. Let's say greenish, right? Green fill. Done. What's the average value? What's the formula for the average? Sum divided by what? Count? Sum of values divided by count of values. Like how many values are there? Right? So I'm using the direct formula over here, average. And if I simply select the range and close it down, so average is what? 2367.8. Whichever value is greater than this, all those values are what? Highlighted. Similarly, below average will be what? So my average here is basically influenced by this value, which is a very big number. So if I say do this conditional formatting, top, bottom, it is on the higher side. It's an outlier, we call it. So my average for this average underscore, let's say amount. And here I'm taking average underscore profit. So my actual or my average is what? AB average minus 225. So if you remember, minus 4 is less than minus 3. The higher the negative value, the lower the importance of that value is. Right? So only this value is on the lower side. But this is how you can do it. But if I see, like if it comes to data cleaning, this is on the very higher side. What ideally the average should be, either I can cap this or I can say .304 should be the average. Whichever values are less than 304 should be highlighted. I mean, that's a part of data preparation. But this is how it's done. Because this is influencing it. Let's say, if I talk about the placements in college, let's say someone got a 50 lakh package, right? And most of them have lied in the range of 5 to 10. One or two people got 50 or 35 lakh package. So will not the average of the college will be influenced by these two numbers? It will be on the higher side, right? And you see that colleges usually will tell you the average package. They won't tell you the median. What is the median package? Median means 50% got above it, 50% got below that. Okay. So this was top bottom rules. We have covered top bottom rules over here. Any doubt in the top bottom rules part? Clear? So it's
आशीष
yeah.
हेलो
Vidhi.
डेट में हमने वो पढ़ा था ना फॉर्मेटिंग का पहले जब MDY और DMY मिक्स होते हैं तो हम उसे कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करके करेक्ट करते हैं वो भी हमने कवर किया करेंगे कि हम
Then we'll do that. We haven't discussed that yet.
ओके ओके
We'll cover that when we will do the date functions.
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है
One more question, like in the notification in the website, they are mentioning that we have a test for both ML and data analytics. So you said that
that's very basic test. I told you it's you just need to go through the building blocks. That's part and
no,
SQL.
actually the data ML part is too long. Like there is about like more than 14 hours of content for the ML part.
In the building blocks.
Yes, in the building blocks for the ML part, and around 8 hours of lectures for data analytics.
Okay. Yeah. So, but this is just a reality check to give you like where you stand. So, take that pressure and attempt the test.
Okay.
So next thing that we have is data bars. Suppose what I'll do, I'll just select this and conditional formatting, data bars. So here you have two options, gradient field and solid field. So the difference is nothing. It's just that what the shade of the color. It's lighter shade, it's darker shade. Done. Now tell me how the size of the bars are calculated over here. What do you think? Based on maximum value. Average. So if I take the average of it,
It's based on maximum value percentile calculation.
correct. Correct. It's based on percentile.
Percentile.
Percentile, right? Percentile is calculated based on what? Max value. So
Yes.
maximum value will be 100%. The bar will basically full length bar. And this is on the opposite direction and with a different color because of negative value, right? So the main point over here is that the bar size is calculated based on percentile. Initial formatting data bars. And if I go to more rules over here, so I want to have data bars, right? So let me just put data bars over here. So this one. And now if I just want to show the data bars and not the values, that option I'm also having. Conditionally, go to data bars, more rules. यहाँ पे you have an option कि show bar only. Done. And okay. So now you are able to see what? Bar only. Else we have. Let's say I have profit and condition formatting, data bars, more rules. So by default, it is taking what? Minimum and maximum, right? Here you have an option of data bar icon. Okay, we'll come to that. Then what all options we have? What should be a minimum value? So whether you want to do it on the basis of number, percent, formula, percentile. So let's say I want to do it on the basis of some, let's say percent. And here also I want to do it on the basis of the percent. 0 to 100% it is taking. Now if you want to do it on the basis of the percentile, let's say done. So this one is different than this one. Earlier it was based on basis of what? Percentile. Now this one is on basis of what? Percent. Okay. So percent, if I say, if we want to calculate the percent of it. So this will be what? This value divided by sum of the range. That's how percent is calculated. And let me just calculate the percentage of all of these. And
10 to 100.
why is it 1? Okay. 1 second. Okay, my bad, my bad. The percent is not calculated like this. This is normally the percentage. But यहाँ पे percent कैसे calculate होगा? So you have to get the max value and you have to get the min value. So let's say my max value is what? Equals to max, and this one is my max. And similarly, I can get the min value. So this is just I'm telling you to the backend. You don't have to really focus on this, but this is how it works in the backend. Yeah. This is my min value. What is my range? Max minus min. So that means key this one minus this one. 388. Now how this will be calculated over here. Condition formatting, data part, manage. I have taken 0 to 100%. So there are 10 cells, let's say. So this is range. Even if this is percent, max is 491. This is 100, 498. Based on what? Range. Hundred, zero. So if I make it, let's say 10, 10. Then to, let's say, 100. So if I want to know what is the 10% of max, let's say if we try to figure out 0.1 into this one, 49.1. 491 is being taken as the 100%. 50% is how much? 245. How much is 422 then? 22 divided by 491. 86%. How much is 103? So 103. Okay. 1 second, got it. Let's try this one now. So I will say this one divided by 491. So this is 21% by, but why is it not highlighted?
Even the first row is not, it doesn't seems like 51%, the as per the bar.
Yeah, why is it not highlighted? Seems like it's doing the percentile thing only.
Yeah.
Lowest value, highest value, if I do that. Hmm? Yeah, let's try this again. Now it is highlighting. Let's see on this what it is doing with this thing. So now the value is correctly highlighted, right? It looks like 50% now. This is 21, 43, 76, 67, 43, 1, 36, 86, 79.
Yeah, because
Yep.
it's on the basis of percentile, again the highest value.
By default, it's percentile. Now,
Yeah.
what I'll do is so manage rules, edit. If I change this from, let's say, the basis of the percent, what should be the value we should give over here? Okay, so it is taking percent, so value should be what? Let's say 0, 100, and so it should give the same as per this 0, 100, 10. Now it is not giving me the graph for this. So if I check the percentage, but 491 is still highest. If I take a number, let's say my number should be, let's say 200, and maximum should be, let's say 400. And then if I check, so above 200
Sorry.
and 400, yeah, so this is working fine. Then this was for the number, let's say 5% is not working. If I take the percentile 10 and 90, 10 and 90, so percentile, if I take, let me just remove this. Let's say 10th percentile, which is so I can say percentile and this is my array, and let me freeze it, and I can say 0.10, which is 170. And if I say what is my 90th percentile, so percentile, this is my array, and I can say 0.9. So 428 is my cutoff value for the 90th percentile, and for the 10th percentile, the cutoff value is what? 170. So that means ki here it is performing correctly for the percentile part. Selection, additional. So if I make it 0 and 100, mhm. 10th is 170. There are 10 cells. Probably based on that, it is not highlighting. Since there are only 10 rows. 0 to 100. 1 second, let me just clear this. Understand this one. Delete. Okay. And if I apply formatting on it, data bars, this one. If I check the rule for this, now it is 103 is there, right? If I check the rule for this, it is taking what? 10 and 90 basis. What is my 10th percent? 10 percentile, 10th is what? 170.
So it's taking 178 as the 10th percentile.
Yeah. Or the formula will be what? 0.10 into n plus 1. So there are 10 rows, that means 10 plus 1, 11. It will give me what? 0.33.
This gives the position, I think, when
Position,
we
yes. It gives
yeah,
the
when
position.
we have to do it in the, I think, descending or ascending order first.
Yeah.
Then we'll get the position of it.
Control C, let me paste it. Values. And so if I want to have the positions, I can have it for the, let's say, 10th percentile. It will be what? The formula will be, let's say, give the percentile. So it will be 0.1 and the number of rows. So 10 plus 1.
Plus 1.
So
Yeah,
1.1,
1.1.
you need to round it off. So ultimately it's the first position. Right? If I want to check for the 20 percentile or let's say 30th percentile, so I can simply say 0.3 into 11, 10 plus 1. So 3.33, probably third or fourth, one of them is going to be the cutoff for the 30th percentile. So this gives the position, let's say, but I can simply get the number only from this range. If I say percentile, this is my array. And if I say 0.1, so 110.5 for the 10th percentile. 20th percentile will be what? 0.2, 204. And if I want to check for the 100 percentile, this is my array and 0, sorry, 1, 491. If I want to check for the 90th percentile, 0.9, 428. Now let's see what is the issue over here.
Okay, so it's not, maybe it's not highlighting it, 103. The reason behind it is कि हमारा 10th percentile आ रहा है
Yeah, that is
110, I
okay.
think.
That is okay. But on the zero side, it is not highlighting. That is the problem.
Yeah, so why would it highlight it? The zero को highlight करेगा ही कैसे? Zero मतलब तो zero blank हो
0
गया
to
ना, तो ये
10,
उससे नीचे आ रहा है.
correct. Cut off से नीचे है तो it is not highlighting.
तो हाँ, that's the reason. मतलब कट ऑफ भी अगर जीरो भी हम लेंगे तो जीरो को तो हाईलाइट कैसे ही करेगा ना. जीरो मतलब तो नन ब्लैंक ही हो गया, तो फिर इसको मे बी दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई इट्स नॉट हाईलाइटिंग.
Yeah. So percentile is clear, but when it comes to percentage, data bars, rules. 1 second, just let me clear this thing. So when I talk about the percent over here, so 0 to 100, let's say.
ट्राई 1 to 100 once. वैल्यू में जीरो की जगह एक बारी 1 करके देखिए.
1 to 100,
हाँ,
या 10 to 100.
मतलब 1 to 100 ही करके देखिए, क्योंकि जीरो तो मतलब कुछ भी शो करेगा नहीं. आई थिंक 1 में भी शो नहीं कर रहा है ना ये.
Because percentage, so it's basically value upon total value. So if I calculate the percentage of this, it will be what? Sum of, or it should be, I think,
103 ना. Next second.
max of this number, which I should is minus min of
ये even 20% of 491 है.
which is returning me what?
103 is 20% of 491. It should be there.
What is my max value?
491.
What's my min value?
103.
What's the difference?
ये 20% of 491 है 103.
What will be the range? Let's say 388. Now, if I check this one, this value, by this one. So it's coming out to be the 63%. Moment 271. So this is not the correct method. That is not satisfying the criteria over here.
सर
हम्म।
एक तो मैक्सिमम मिनिमम से है ना मीन से एक बार सॉल्व करके
मीन से मतलब
491 103 सर एक्चुअली जो परसेंट है ना अगर आप ग्राफ में प्लॉट करोगे तो 103 मिनिमम और 491 मैक्सिमम पे जाएगा तो आप जब हिस्टोग्राम अगर आप प्लॉट कर रहे हो तो 103 पे तो बाहर हमेशा जीरो ही आएगा 491 पे जीरो तो जैसे 248 पे जाओगे तो 248 माइनस 103 अपॉन 248 into 100 तो जो परसेंट आएगा उसका है ना ग्राफ प्लॉट
So you are saying max minus min. What's the formula you're telling?
सर मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि आप है ना 103 को मिनिमम पे रखो 491 को मैक्सिमम पे रखो और एक बार आप सॉर्ट कर लो जितना भी प्रॉफिट का नंबर है
This is the sorted one.
हाँ तो 103 178 तो 178 माइनस 103 अपन 178 into 100 तो उससे ना 178 वाले पॉइंट का है ना आपको ग्राफ मिल जाएगा ग्राफ का परसेंट
That will be the so you're saying 178 minus 103.
103 तो जीरो भी है आप 178 का कैलकुलेट करें
So that's the growth you are telling me. I don't want to calculate the growth. Right? But let's say if what you're saying is 178 minus 103 divided by 1, it should be 103. That's 177. Percentage growth. How you calculate the percentage growth? Current minus previous divided by previous into 100.
सर आप 103 और 178 को ब्रैकेट में तो
72. Okay, let me just do this thing.
सर गलत
वो percentage growth है ना? No worries. So what we'll do, we won't spend more time on this. This will be a homework. I will identify this. I will also identify this. Why this 103? In case of percentage, why is it? What's the issue? ठीक है? Sorry.
Firstly, we have to define base value. Then
Yeah.
percentage. So
Percentage ideally formula is what? Value upon total value. So this is my total value. Sum of
total value means when you find it, you just mark it. For example, 500 marks total. उसमें आपको आया 400. Then 400 by 500 100%. तब इसमें सर हम लोग कैसे मानते हैं कौन सा वैल्यू आप मानते
Okay, so in that scenario, yes, that can be done. So if in that case it is working as percentile only. kind of percentile. So I can say 240. So this value divided by 491. Not number, I want it to be in percentage.
यहाँ पे भी सर ये है कि सर यहाँ पे हमने मैक्सिमम वैल्यू को बेस वैल्यू उसके अकॉर्डिंग
हाँ
तो वही इशू हो रहा है ना जब तक हम लोग बेस वैल्यू नहीं डिफाइन करेंगे
that's the task I've given. Now you need to understand ki how this is working in case of percentage in the backend. Right. So that's a homework. You guys find out. I'll also find out ki how this is working in the backend and what formula it is using.
ये परसेंटेज भी ना परसेंटाइल के बेसिस तरीके से
Correct.
कैलकुलेट कर रहा है।
Hmm.
और ये ना हम वन जो इसका 491 का 1 परसेंटाइल होगा वो आई थिंक 109 समथिंग होगा और 103 उससे नीचे आ रहा है, सिर्फ 103 ही है जो 1 परसेंटाइल से भी नीचे है। दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई इट्स नॉट कवर्ड इवन ऑन द परसेंटेजेस।
So it is working.
क्योंकि हमारे
but-
पास
Okay,
देख, हम मैं
percentile you are calculating, but I'm asking, I'm using percentage, right? So I want
हाँ
to
दैट इज
understand ki what is how it is you basically performing the calculation in the backend.
वही मैं आपको बता रही हूँ। जैसे हम जब कंडीशनल फॉर्मेटिंग यूज कर रहे हैं ना, क्योंकि प्रीवियस क्लास में भी हमने ये चीज की थी, सो हमारा उसमें भी ये हाईलाइट नहीं हो रहा था, राइट? तभी हम लोगों ने चेक किया था, तो हमारे पास कोई सर्टेन मतलब ये 100% किस बेसिस पे कैलकुलेट, परसेंटाइल छोड़िए, परसेंट भी किस बेसिस पे कैलकुलेट करेगा जो हमारी मैक्सिमम वैल्यू है। क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई टारगेट नहीं है कि जैसे हमें आउट ऑफ 500 लेना है या आउट ऑफ विच नंबर लेना है, तो हमारे हम जो भी कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं वो आउट ऑफ 491 ही कर रहे हैं, राइट?
Yeah.
तो बैकएंड ऑटोमेटिकली हाईएस्ट वैल्यू के बेसिस पे
Okay.
परसेंटेजेस को भी परसेंटाइल ही कैलकुलेट कर रहा है। क्योंकि
Got it.
हमारे पास कोई टारगेट वैल्यू नहीं है ना, हमारे पास एक ओनली मैक्सिमम वैल्यू है। तो वो परसेंटाइल कैलकुलेट करेगा या परसेंटेज कैलकुलेट करेगा, वो एक ही वैल्यू के बेसिस पे दोनों चीजों को परसेंटाइल के तरीके से ही कैलकुलेट कर रहा है।
Okay, so this was what our 10th percentile.
या
This is
द
20th
10th
percentile.
परसेंटाइल शुड बी 170 समथिंग।
10th percentile.
हाँ, एक बार ये आप कैलकुलेट कीजिए 491 का 10th परसेंटाइल फिर से।
This is 110.5. Yeah. So this is the reason. So this is 10th percentile. It is acting as a percentile, but we are calculating into the percentage. But it is stating the percentage as percentile in the backend in this case. So 103 is what? Percentile is 110. Ideally is 20%, but percentile is 110, and it's less than 103 is less than 110. So ideally, I'm not sure with this, but
अगर हमारे पास ओके अगर हमारे पास कोई और वैल्यू होती, जैसे हम परसेंटेजेस क्या करते हैं, कैलकुलेट करते हैं, जैसे हम मार्क्स कैलकुलेट करते हैं 100% के बेसिस पे। अब 100 आउट ऑफ मतलब हम फिर परसेंट कैलकुलेट करते हैं कि हमारे ओवरऑल मार्क्स, जैसे मार्क्स सपोज मार्क्स कि हमें 500 टोटल मार्क्स में से कितने मार्क्स मिले, राइट? हर बंदे के हम उस बेसिस पे कैलकुलेट करते हैं, तो हमारे पास एक टारगेट वैल्यू होती है कि इसमें से हम कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं। लेकिन इसमें हमारे पास कोई टारगेट वैल्यू नहीं है, तो जो भी हाईएस्ट वैल्यू है ना, ये उसी के बेसिस पे कैलकुलेट कर रहा है। तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली परसेंटेजेस को ना परसेंटाइल में कन्वर्ट कर दे रहा है, क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई भी टारगेट वैल्यू नहीं है। जब भी मतलब हम परसेंटाइल तभी तो मतलब परसेंटाइल का मतलब यही होता है ना।
got your point, Vidhi. Got your point. But point is ki what is the rule I'm taking over here? What is the rule I'm taking over here is, see this one. So 1, okay, you have taken 1 over here, no? Let's say I'm taking from 10 to 90, let's say. Okay, in terms of percent. So
आप इसमें कुछ भी लोगे ना, कुछ भी लोगे,
it is
क्योंकि
taking as a percentile, I understand, but I need to figure out the formula. What's the formula in terms of percentage it is calculated? How will I get this value using this formula, percentage formula? logic is correct. Ki we are defining the maximum value as my total, but I need to understand what my formula is backend. Okay. Right. So that's homework again. Find the reason for this. So there are different ways of calculating the percentage. We need to find out ki how this is working in the back. Okay. It is acting as a percentile when I'm taking the percentage. So backend working of percentage in this data bars. ठीक है. The next thing we have is in the color scales. This is the sales amount I have. Let me just do it. So make the selection, conditional formatting. I go to color scales, and I have different color scale option over here. From 2 color scale, 3 color scale. This is 3 color scale, which is green, yellow, red. This is to 3 color scale, green, white, red. That means ki green being the highest, the darker the green, the highest the value, the darkest the red color, the lowest the value, and whitish in between. We have a 2 color scale option also. The darker the green, highest value, and the white is the lowest one. Okay. So you have 2 color scale or 3 color scale option over here. So this one 2966 is the 2969. They're pretty close, so probably you are not able to differentiate between the shades, but 1070 is the lowest. In case of profit also, let's say color scales and more rules. If I go, so यहाँ पे what you can do is, even here also you have an option number. Let's say if I take the number also, and I give the number as 110, and here the number being 491, and done. So you can see that 103 is still highlighted. So in color scales, whatever the selection you are making, so it will highlight all the values. So let's say the lowest number will be, let's say 0. And so still it has taken 103 as the lowest, even if I applied that. Percent. Okay, 0 to 100. Again, यहाँ पे let it be from white, not from white. From this to the greenest. Yeah. So here it is basically this one is the highest in terms of percent. So the calculation is same. You need to figure out that, but this is how it is doing on the basis of the percentage. See, here it is highlighted. Being on the lowest side, you can see it is the lowest value. So it is brightened up in the yellow color, and this is the highest value. So this was all regarding the data bars. Sorry, not data bars, the color scales. You have 2 color scale option, 3 color scale option, and you can play with these things around. Percentile formula, if you want to give a formula, if you give a number, lowest value. But number, unit number, percent, formula, percentile, whatever you are giving, you have to give them considering your lowest and highest value. Ultimately, they are going to be highlighted. Okay. Then we have formula. Okay, we haven't discussed the formula yet, but okay, let's say this is what I have. Data bars, more rules, and I can use a formula over here. So any formula you can use. Let's say I can use min of this range. And then I can have max, just an example. If you have any customized formula from the company based on business context, you can use that as well. And so I have done this for the data bars. It is 80 to 89. So this min and max, and accordingly it has, so it is assigning the bar size based on the value. So this is a maximum, and minimum is not getting any bar size over here. So you can consider it as a 0. But this is how you can use the formula. Okay. Similar in case of, I mean, you can have your own defined formula by the organizations, whatever, on whichever data you're applying the formatting, which will give you a particular value in the output.
Data bars, we see difference in percentage or difference in formula.
No, there is a difference. If you are using, yeah, because I have given max and min value. So this is working same. Here, it was just an example to show you how you are going to pass the formula. Minimum value is क्या ले? Let's say if I'm not taking the, sorry, if I'm not taking up the condition formatting, manage rules, I'm not taking the formula, I'm taking the numbers now. Okay. So let's say the maximum number be 500, and the minimum number be, let's say, 50. It will take it then. Then apply. Done. See? Then it will take it. But when I was saying maximum and minimum, then in terms of that, the bar size was not visible. Yeah, it's 0 compared to, so it's like someone, let's say you have a 3 LPA package and someone is having a 70 LPA package. So if I draw the bar size, probably your bar size won't appear only. Yeah. Okay, so what we can do is conditional formatting, manage rules, edit rule. I can have 50 and formula, let's say formula, and I'm having maximum value over here. Okay. Again, it depends on data to data and the use case, but yeah. Bar size will differ. Okay. So this was color scales where you have used data bars also. But then we have icon set. So these are all formatting options we have. Whichever you want to use, you can use that. So let's say this is what I'm having. And here what we have is we also have the conditions along with it. So these are my conditions for the sales amount. So I'll go to conditional formatting, icon sets. So if I want to give three conditions, three directional or three shapes or three indicators or three ratings I can have. If I want to give four conditions, four directional, five conditions, five directional, or five shapes or five indicators or five ratings, whatever is available. Clear? Now let's say I want to give three conditions, green, yellow, red. So three directional. Done. Is it correct? Correct? So 2450 is between 1500 to 2500. It should be yellow. So that means ki by default, what is happening is icon sets works on which basis? Percentage. So let's say if I have max value, what's my max value over here? 2969. What's my min value over here? 1070. Now let me take the range also. So this one minus this one. 1899. Okay. How many conditions I have? Into how many parts I want to divide my data? Three parts. So that means ki 1899 divided by what? 3. I'm getting what? 633. What is my minimum value? So first window, let's say. Second window. Third window. So this is my minimum value. Just take it this as minimum value. Plus this one. I should not do this. So I should say 1070 till what? 1070 till what? 1070 plus 633. That is my first window. If I want to divide into three parts, then 101704, let's say, if I'm taking it, then this will be what? This plus 633, then 2338, let's say, equals to this plus 2971, 2961, because I haven't taken it continuously. But ultimately, let's say if I just take it 1073 also, 1703. So this will be included over here. And this will be what? 6. Clear? So I am saying if whichever falls in this region, it will be a red arrow. Whatever falls in the second range, from this to this will be what? Yellow. And this one will be green. So I have divided into three parts. So that means this is what? 33%, 0 to 33%. Then 33 to 66 or 67, something like that, let's say. And then 67 to what? Whatever, I mean 100, let's say. If I want to divide my window into 4 parts, so I will divide my range by 4, and the distribution will be what? 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. Right? So this is how the icon sets are working based on the percentage, and this is how the calculation is performed in the backend. Now, this is divided into 3 parts, so 33, 67, and then more than 67. But I don't want that. I want to divide this on the basis of the percentage. So condition formatting, manage rules. This is the rule, edit rule. Okay. So it is on the basis of what? Percent? 33, 67. See? So I want to divide it on the basis of what? Number? Divide the data. So when value is, let's say, greater than equals to what? 2500. So not greater than equals to greater than 2500. Then it should be green. If it is not greater than 2500, it should be less than equals to, and greater than equals to, because red arrow has to be less than. So greater than equals to what? 1500. Otherwise what? Now it will be what? Less than 1500. It will automatically pick it up. Done. Apply. Now you can see it is showing yellow. So you can manually pass the conditions by using the number, or if you have any formula like that. But by default, it was working on the percentage. It was equally dividing your data into that many sections as per the number of conditions you were having. If you had 3 conditions, your data was divided equally into 3 parts. Clear? With the icon sets. So if you have 4 conditions, what you can do is you can use 4 directional icon sets. If you have 5 conditions, 5 directional icon sets. Maximum, yes, let's see if we have more to this. Yeah. Whatever you are having is max is 5. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so this was what icon sets is. Clear with the icon sets part? Now what I want to do is, let's say there's a question over here. I want to highlight, question is highlight the entire row where sales is greater than 2500, let's say. Okay. So if I want to highlight the entire row, that means what? I need to use what? Formula. Clear with this? Yeah. But before that, we have to learn one concept over here, which is concept of freezing, which is very important. Before doing this thing, we'll understand the freezing concept. So let's say I have over here A, B, C, and D. Now, so what will happen? Let's say if I freeze the row first, so freezing the row. So let me take the reference of this B. Done. I need to freeze the row. So what is my row number? I mean this, I need to freeze this now. So I need to freeze what? Row. So I need to put dollar sign in front of the row number. So how shift 4 is it, you can put the dollar sign. I have done what? Now I have freezed the row. That means ki I have freezed this row. Doesn't matter if I move up or down, my value will be the same. Because my row is what? Horizontal. I have freezed my this row. Ki this is going to be same every time. So either I move upward or downward, my value is going to be the same. See. So if I move upward, what should I get in the output?
A.
Ideally, I should get A. But since I have freeze the row, what will I get?
Yeah.
B. If you see the address over here, what is the address? B3. If I move downwards, what will happen? Ideally, I should get C. But since I have freeze the row, I will get B. If I move towards the right hand side, what will I get? E. Because मैंने row freeze करी है, column freeze नहीं किया. If I move towards the left hand side, T. See, अब यहाँ पे देखो, since I freeze the row, so I have freeze the row, horizontal part, right? So यहाँ पे अगर मैं column freeze करता हूँ, let's say, this thing I have freezed. So whether I move left or right, my value will be the same. When I freeze this row, whether I move up or down, my value will be same. So here I'm moving vertically, my value will be what? Same. Upward direction or downward direction. Let's say if I freeze the column, freezing the column. Let me just copy this thing again over here. So I'll take the reference of this cell. I need to freeze column. That means this one, K column. I'll do what? Put dollar in front of K. So a column freeze हो गया. That means if I move left or right, my value will be the same. But my value will change when I will move vertically. So if I move towards the right or left, my value will be same because I have freeze the column. If I move downward or upward direction, my value will change because I haven't freeze the row. Clear with this part? Freezing of row and column? Yes. Now that thing is called freezing the cell. So again, let me take the reference of it. Let's say B. I want to freeze the cell. Cell is an intersection of row and column. That means I need to freeze the column and I need to freeze the row. So dollar in front of the row and dollar in front of the column name. Done. Now since I freezed the cell, it doesn't matter whether I move left or right, upward or downward. My value will be the same. Because what I have done is I have freeze the address. My address will every time my address will be pointing to this cell. Yeah, I'll tell you now. Let's say again, so the US dollar we have, for example, very basic example over here, 23.32. I want to convert this into INR. The conversion rate is let's say 71.45, right? Now, how can I do this? How can I convert US dollar into INR? First, what will I do? First, I will take the reference of this cell. Okay. Now, multiply by 71.45. Done. Right? Now I can drag it. I'll get the output. Rupees. Now it is 72.45. I have to go back, change it, and drag it again. Let's make it more dynamic. Instead of that, what I can do, writing it manually, I can simply take the reference of this, right? Enter and drag. I'm getting 0, 0 over here. When I drag it down, this cell is also getting dragged down. I don't want that. I want it to be freezed to stay at the same location, right? So I need to see what is the location over here? J31 of this cell. Location over here is what? 1 second. J31. Here it is what? J32. Here it is what? J33. So the cell is getting dragged down every time I'm dragging it, right? I don't want that. So that will happen when I will freeze the cell. So make a selection. Okay, now the shortcut is for this is F4 or function F4. If I say F4 once, what is happening? The cell is getting freezed. If I press F4 twice, only the row is getting freezed. If I press F4 thrice, third time, column is getting freezed, fourth time, unfreezing the cell. So I want to freeze the cell. So one time F4, done. Now if I drag it down, see, what is my address? J31. Over here also, J31. Now what I want, let's say my value has changed. It is 76 now. I don't have to drag it down. I don't have to manually insert the value. I just need to change it in a single cell and it will be reflected. Clear? Now freezing concept is very important. You will be using it till the mostly 99% of the concepts will be covering in Excel. यहाँ पे I haven't freezed the row or column. What will happen यहाँ पे if I freeze the row? So this value will be appearing in all the cells 1782, right? What will happen if I freeze the column? Difference नहीं आएगा. But what is the proper syntax? Like if you're a beginner in Excel, you understand कि since I am dragging it down, so it will be good to go. But let's say if you have a cross tab where you have the conditions on the horizontal row and on the vertical column, so then you need to freeze it accordingly. We'll see that. But यहाँ पे I can freeze the column. Just remember this. If you want to drag downwards, you won't be freezing the row. Right? So this is why concept of freezing is very important. Clear?
So one thing I wanted to ask.
Yes, Varsh.
While we are freezing J31, so but shouldn't we just freeze because while we are dragging it down, the J specifically not being changed. So why did we freeze the whole cell?
Which cell? This one?
Yeah.
What happened earlier when I did not freeze it? My address was changing for this cell. So it's a tendency of Excel when you drag down and you don't freeze the reference cell, it will also change the reference. For this cell, the reference was this. For this cell, the reference will be this cell. And this one, for this cell, the reference will be this one. So when I do freezing, it is every time it is taking the value from this cell.
Okay.
Clear, Sparsh?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll cover more on the freezing part, but it's a very important concept, right? Now back to conditional formatting. Okay. I want to highlight the entire table. Question is clear. Conditional formatting. Either you can say new rule or you can go to manage rule and say new rule. I want to use a formula to determine which cells to format. Okay. Formula starts with what? Equals to. And so I want to apply formatting based on which column? Sales amount. So this cell, by default, okay, let it be this one. Then what I will say, whichever cells is greater than equals to what? 2500. I want to format which color? Let's say green. Okay. This is my range to apply the formatting D1132, whatever this column is, D122. Apply. What happened?
It's highlighting all the cells.
Why is it highlighting all the cells? See, every time for all the rows, like it will check the condition for the first value, then for the second value, right? But every time for all the rows, it is checking this. It is checking this. Guys, please be on. Guys, please be on. Okay. So every time this condition is checked with which value? This cell C113. So let me unfreeze it. Because I freezed this C1, it is automatically freezed by default. So every time for each of the row, this value is considered 2735. That is why the entire table is highlighted in green. Done. Now it's correct. Apply. It is now not highlighting the entire row. It is highlighting the first column on the basis of what? Sales amount. Yes. It is highlighting correctly, but not the entire row. Why? Now just can you just tell me what will be the output of the formula which I've used in conditional formatting? What will be the output? True, false, Boolean. Good. So this is a very important note to remember. That conditional formatting takes the formula or write the formula in conditional formatting, which I can write the formula in conditional formatting, which returns Boolean as an output. If your formula is returning any particular value in the output, it won't highlight it. Because either if the condition is true, it will highlight the row or that particular cell. If the condition is false, it won't highlight. So there are only two possibilities. So remember, whenever you write a formula in conditional formatting, it has to be the comparison thing. It has to return the output as true or false. Boolean as an output. That's a very important thing. Okay. Now, one more thing you need to remember is conditional formatting takes the proper formula as an input. Whatever we did over here, like for example, this greater than equals to what? 2500. What is output? Boolean. Right? Whichever are true are highlighted, but not the entire row. Here, if you see, I haven't freezed the column, but it will work in Excel. I mean, I just need to get the output true or false. It will work in Excel because since I just need to drag it down, I am not dragging it in this manner, right? Because now it becomes a problem because my cell reference is changing from C113 to D113 because I haven't freezed the column. So it takes proper syntax as an input. So you should basically keep it as a practice. Do I need to freeze the row over here 113? No, because I'm going to check for each and every value. Can I freeze the column?
Yes.
Yes, that can be done. So this is what ideally my output won't change. But this is what the proper syntax. So conditional formatting takes proper syntax. Like each and every column or row which has to be freezed, you need to freeze it. Otherwise, it will not highlight the entire row. Let me copy this and paste it over here. Okay. Condition formatting, manage rules, edit rule. यहाँ पे C1 to 7, yeah. It is not freezed, right? Once I freeze it, I need to freeze what? Column? Just the column? Done. Apply. It takes proper syntax. You need to freeze the relevant columns, whatever you are using. It will work in Excel, but for the conditional formatting, the output has to be boolean of the formula, and you need to do the proper freezing. So this is how you can highlight the entire row on basis of some condition, on basis of some particular column. Any doubt in this section, freezing part and conditional formatting? We'll be solving advanced problems on conditional formatting also, but yeah, you need to revise these things at least. Online guys, any query? This one. This I told you how this is working in the backend. Yeah. So I've just shown you how this is breaking down into 3 parts. 33%, 67%. How these values cutoffs are calculated. So I can say 1703 less than equals to 1703. Probably the first window greater than 1703 and less than 2336 will be the second window. Greater than 2336 will be the third window. Guys, any query? Online guys, let me know. No? Offline guys, clear? So this I'll also find out. You guys need to also find out the percentage part in the data bars, how this is working. And yeah, so this was regarding the condition formatting part. Phrasing concept is important. And let me see what we are left with. We have done copy, paste, and paste special, right? Okay. So there are a few things. Let's see that. Changing data types. That's important. Let's say I have values as 10, 20, 30, 40. Now, what I want is, if I take sum of it, what will I get? Huh? 100?
Zero.
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 Because it is a,
Text value.
I need to convert this into what?
Numeric value.
Numeric value. So let's say text to numeric. So let's say method 1, I'll use value function. So I'll say value, and what is the argument? It takes input as text. I will take 10. Done. If I am going to freeze, what will I freeze over here? Column, right? But even if I don't, it doesn't make any difference because I'm just dragging for a single call, right? If I take sum of it, now I should be able to get the sum of it 100. This is method 1. Method 2, you can use another function which is number value. So I can say number value. We'll discuss what these two optional are. So whatever you see in square brackets are optional arguments. It will also take text as an input and it is aligned, right? Method 3, we have. So I'm showing you various methods to just convert text to numeric, text to columns. So when you use these functions, you have to do what? You have to take the reference of the cell, right? You're not able to make changes in that particular column. But if you want to do the changes in that particular column itself, what you can do is just make the selection, go to data tab. In the data tab, you have an option of text to columns. Go over here. Next, next. Then here it is general already selected. You don't have to do anything. Keep it as it is and click on finish. Done. Clear? So these are the methods of converting any text value to numeric. Now there's this number value function is nothing but an advanced version of value function. So let's say I have values 1 lakh 0.02 1 comma 00 comma 000.02. Then I have 1.00.000 comma 02. So here I'll use value function. And here I will use number value. So if I say equals to value, this text, then I'm able to convert into numeric, but not working for the other two, right? Because here I have given comma as a separator between thousands and lakhs, right? Here it is different. Here dot is the separator to identify whether the value is thousand or lakhs, and comma is what? Decimal. Let me use number value. So number value will take it. I don't need to use additional arguments. Done. It is able to convert. Let's say if it is able to convert this also by default text, because decimal, I have taken decimal and comma as the separator, group separator. It is able to convert, right? Let's say if this is able to convert the last one also. No. Value. So what I will do now, I will define what is my decimal separator. Like what is my decimal separator over here? Comma is my decimal separator. So the text has to be written in double quotes in Excel. Single quote doesn't work in Excel. What is my group separator? Dot. Here, what was my decimal separator? Dot. And group separator? Number value is nothing but an advanced version of value function. So clear how to convert text to numeric? Now let's say how to convert numeric to text. So let's say I have values again. I'm taking 10, 20, 30, 40, very basic examples. Now, let's say method 1. So the difference between these value number and text to column was what? I don't need to take the reference of any column. In text to columns, I'm put that. By default, texts are what? Left aligned. If I take the sum of it, text to columns. Next, next, and you have an option of text and finish. So this is how you okay. Sorry, data type. Okay, let's say here you have categories 1, 2, 3, 4. Category labels, categorical versus continuous. Remember. So what will be better? Will you keep it numeric? Yeah, you can keep it if you are like aware of the concept of categorical and continuous. But most of the people generally make the mistake of taking the sum of it. Just to avoid that. And it's important to change the data type because let's say most of the time you may get this has to be numeric, you'll get it as a text. Or if this is a text, you have to get it numeric for that reason. So this is how you can change the data types. Any questions? So what will I do? I'll stop for today. No? Online guys?